Welcome to my channel. Imagine this. Winter arrives, temperatures drop below freezing, and most animals struggle just to stay warm. But somewhere under a layer of ice, one tiny creature has completely frozen solid. Its heart has stopped, its breathing has stopped, and its brain activity has nearly vanished. And yet, months later, it wakes up and walks away as if nothing happened. Today, we're exploring one of the most fascinating survival abilities in biology, animals that can survive being frozen. Let's begin with one of the most famous examples, the wood frog, scientifically known as Rana sylvatica. This small brown frog lives in North America, where winters can be extremely harsh. Scientists discovered that during winter, wood frogs allow as much as 65 to 70% of their body water to freeze. That means ice forms inside their body cavities, between organs, and even under their skin. Their heart stops beating. Their lungs stop moving. For all practical purposes, the frog appears dead. Yet when spring arrives and temperatures rise, the frog thaws, and within hours, its heart starts beating again. Soon, it hops away normally. This remarkable phenomenon was carefully studied by scientists Dr. Jon Costanzo and Dr. Richard Lee Jr. at Miami University in Ohio, whose research helped explain how these frogs survive freezing conditions. Their studies showed that wood frogs prepare for winter in a very sophisticated biochemical way. Before freezing begins, the frog's liver rapidly produces large amounts of glucose, flooding the bloodstream. This glucose acts as a natural antifreeze, protecting cells from damage by preventing ice crystals from forming inside them. Ice forming inside cells would normally tear cell membranes apart, which is why freezing is usually fatal for animals. Instead, the glucose concentrates inside cells, helping them survive dehydration and stabilizing proteins and membranes while the frog remains frozen. But wood frogs are not alone in this incredible survival strategy. Another extraordinary organism is the tardigrade, often called the water bear. These microscopic animals, discovered in the 18th century by Johann August Ephraim Goethe, are among the toughest life forms on Earth. Later, scientist Lazzaro Spallanzani studied them in detail and described their ability to survive extreme environments. Tardigrades can survive freezing, extreme heat, radiation, lack of oxygen, and even the vacuum of space. When conditions become harsh, they enter a state called cryptobiosis, where their metabolism slows down to nearly zero. Their bodies lose most of their water, and they curl into a tiny protective form known as a tun. In this suspended state, tardigrades can remain frozen for years, sometimes even decades, and then revive when water returns. Scientists studying tardigrades discovered that they produce special protective molecules, including trehalose sugars and unique proteins known as TDPs, tardigrade-specific intrinsically disordered proteins. These molecules form a glass-like structure inside cells, stabilizing vital components and preventing damage during freezing or dehydration. This discovery has fascinated researchers because it may one day help us preserve human cells, vaccines, organs for transplantation, and even food without needing traditional refrigeration methods. Now here's something even more fascinating. Animals that survive freezing are not truly immune to ice. Instead, they carefully control where and how freezing happens. In the wood frog, freezing begins in the spaces between cells, not inside them. Special proteins called ice-nucleating proteins help control the formation of ice crystals, ensuring they develop slowly and safely. Meanwhile, the antifreeze compounds inside cells prevent internal freezing damage. This coordinated system is like a perfectly timed survival program, almost as if the frog's body switches into a winter survival mode designed by millions of years of evolution. You might be wondering, why would evolution favor freezing instead of avoiding it? For animals living in extremely cold regions, escaping freezing temperatures isn't always possible. Burrowing underground or migrating long distances requires energy and resources that small animals may not have. Instead, natural selection favored species that could tolerate freezing, turning what would normally be deadly into a survival advantage. By remaining frozen, these animals conserve energy, avoid predators, and survive months without food. Modern research into freeze-tolerant animals is opening new scientific frontiers. Cryobiologists, scientists who study life at low temperatures are using these natural strategies to improve cryopreservation, the process of preserving cells and tissues at very low temperatures. Inspired by wood frogs and tardigrades, researchers are exploring ways to safely freeze human organs for long-term storage. If successful, this could revolutionize organ transplantation, allowing organs to be stored for weeks instead of just hours. The same principles could also help preserve endangered species genetic material, improve space travel biology experiments, and extend the shelf life of sensitive medicines. Another surprising freeze survivor is the Arctic woolly bear caterpillar, which can survive being frozen for years during its development. It produces glycerol and antifreeze compounds similar to those found in wood frogs, helping its tissues withstand repeated freezing and thawing cycles. Some caterpillars may take up to 14 years to complete their life cycle in extremely cold environments. Nature, once again, demonstrates that survival strategies are far more creative than we often imagine. So the next time you think of freezing temperatures as lifeless and harsh, remember this: beneath the snow, inside frozen ponds, and even within microscopic droplets of water, life may be quietly paused, waiting for warmth to return. Animals like wood frogs and tardigrades show us that survival doesn't always mean staying active. Sometimes survival means pressing the biological pause button. And who knows? The same mechanisms that allow a frog to survive winter today may one day help doctors preserve organs. Scientists send life safely into deep space, or researchers protect vaccines in remote regions of the world. Nature's smallest creatures often hold the biggest scientific secrets. And that brings us to the end of today's fascinating biology story. If you enjoyed learning something new, like, share, and subscribe for more such videos. And let me know in the comments which incredible animal ability you want to explore next.